back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you guys how to look good with just your foundation, your concealer, and your powder, and also an eyeshadow if you don't have many products as a makeup artist should have. So stay tuned and let's just start. So for my brows, I'm going to use my Mzjwan Beauty brow pencil in the shade Coffee. I'm going to use the spoolie side to comb out my hairs before I fill them in. So the next thing to do is probably just to conceal it, but I don't feel like concealing my brows today, so I'm just going to outline it well so you know it comes out really good. And you see how quick and easy that was. So I'm going to move on to my face and I'm going to apply my primer, and the primer I'm going to use today is my Laura Slim primer, HD primer that I got from BB Beauty store. What else? And this primer is so good for oily skin that, I don't know, combination skin. I'm so much into it of late. I can't even just, I've not been using any other primer. That's the only primer that I've been using and I'm so happy with it. So then for foundation, I'm going to go ahead and use my Ferrarici foundation. But before I do so, if you're someone who has dark spots, you can go ahead and conceal your dark spots with your concealer. And this time I'm using my Fawn concealer to conceal all my dark spots. And the brush I'm using is the Colorbox Duo End brush. But if you're someone who hardly has, you know, dark spots, you can go ahead and just start using your foundation. And make sure to shake your foundation well. I'm gonna blend everything out using my Mzjwan Beauty blender. And my beauty blender is already damp, so it's making the foundation glide on really easily. So now the next thing to do is to conceal my under eye area and my forehead, and I'm using my Evita Joseph multi buffer. I'm applying some onto my eyelids as my eyeshadow base. If you do not have a certain powder and you just have your foundation powder, all you need to do is to pick up your beauty blender or a very much flat brush like this, a flat brush like this, or your foundation brush, and you use it to apply the powder on there underneath your concealing areas. And make sure your beauty blender is damp. I'm going to use this shade, which is Toffee, from my Ezekiel powder palette, and I'm just pressing it on top of my concealer. So the places that you highlighted, those are the places you are going to apply this powder. In order to get rid of all this powdery look from your face before you move on to the next step, you can go in with your setting sprays, okay? And you can either use your hydrating rose water from Ashaki or from BJ's. So I'm going to use the BJ hydrating rose water. So for the powders that you use to set your face or your concealed areas, it can be in a loose powder or it can be a pressed powder. Any powder, and so far as it's your foundation powder or your finishing powder that works for you, you can use that. But if you have a certain powder, that's Sacha Bernard, Laura Mercier, any other setting or baking powder, you can use that instead of your foundation powder. So now the next thing to do is to set your entire face. I'm going to use my MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC45. That's because I just feel like changing powders. And for contouring, if you don't have any dark brown or darker powder shade to do your contour, you can always go in with a dark brown eyeshadow or any shade of eyeshadow that you know is good for your contouring. I'm going to do that using this eyeshadow today. Applying your contour powder is supposed to be from the top part of your ear to where your eye end, and it has to be on top of your cheekbones. And again, for blush, you can also use an eyeshadow that's like this. If you're fair, you can use something like this and this, or if you're dark, you use something like this. So I'm going to use this shade right here, and that on top of the contour. So for eyes, all I'm going to do is something simple. I'm just going to play around with these matte colors. I'm going in with this shade right here. I'm going to place that all over my eyelid. Going in with my crease definer from Evita Joseph, and I'm going in with this blush color right here, what I use for my blush. I'm placing that on top of my lid. For my under eye, I'm going to use this brush, dome crease brush from Evita Joseph. I'm going to use that to pick this shade underneath my eye area. I'm going to place that also on the end outer V of my eye, just to make it look like I have a winged eyeshadow or liner over there. For mascara, I'm going to use my Mzjwan Cosmetic mascara. Not forget your highlight. I'm just going to go with this shimmer right here, and it's the shade Dahlia from the Masquerade palette. To do is to set your makeup again. So this time around, I'm going to use my rose water from Ashaki to set everything into. And now my final step is to go in with my finishing spray. And the difference between a setting spray and a finishing spray is that a setting spray is supposed to get rid of the powdery look and also prevent your makeup from looking cakey, whilst the finishing spray is supposed to make your makeup look last longer. So I'm going to spray just a little bit of this. I know I said a little bit. So for lipstick, I'm using this Nikak lipstick in the shade Millbrook to line my lips. And I'm applying this classic nude lipstick in the middle. And to let the lipstick last longer, I'm going to blot it with my powder. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I hope it was much helpful and you learned a lot from it. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.